Hello, world. Patricia, O'Connor, and Frida, Reba, Darcy here. It is our Sunday night drop. Where are all those boxes, Pat? Well, first things first, I'm trying to get dog treats, training treats for our lioness in training. There we go. Pull a little focus on Frida. Got her there. Got her paid for her intro. And now we can get on. Well, those are boxes of tools. And no, I'm not going to have them like that. That's kind of a presentation as it is. Setting them up for your viewing pleasure. This is what we're going to talk about today is general maintenance of mostly tools. I think I have something else to throw in there because I'm not planning on this going long. And while I have the ingredients there, I might as well add something else to them. Kind of a little extra payoff there. But here's what. To the right of screen, you see olive oil. Olive oil. That is, and it says it's extra virgin. I don't know that all that's necessary. It doesn't have to be virgin or extra virgin or, it doesn't have to be of any good moral standings whatsoever. If it's basically olive oil, it will work for what we want to use it for. And what we want to use it for is I don't like using petroleum products on things that I'm going to work on plants with or living tissue. So when it comes to that, I would prefer to use for my metal Japanese tools, I would prefer to use olive oil. So I got us a brand new bottle of olive oil here. This is a t-shirt that I'm using for a rack. It already has oil in it too. I'm going to mix the two because I'm not that freakish about it. What's in there is what you just saw there. Oil of baby. That is a Johnson & Johnson product. Apparently they're only paying homage to one Johnson on that bottle. But I see the guys in Japan use that too. No, I don't use baby oil for my tools. I'll get to that in a minute. So what I just did was put a little dab of my olive oil here on my rag, which is kind of already got a little baby oil on it already. It stays saturated so that whenever I use it for what it is I use it for, I can usually pick it up and wipe down stuff and it will look treated just because of the amount of baby oil that rag already has in it. I use it for pots, I'll just say that. Now, you see there, we just made our tools shiny and new. Got it all in there. I also got some on my hands. That will not hurt. And we kicked the camera. That will not hurt me either. So having done that, I'm one of those kind of. When it comes to my stainless steel tools, I try to brown those guys up every so often and try to make sure that I haven't misplaced any and that they're all in pretty good shape. I try to take care of them, but I'm not as careful with the stainless stuff as I am my Japanese black steel tools. Boom. One down. A dozen more to go. What is this? I forgot what. Those are probably okay. Tweezers. Yeah, they're stainless tweezers. We'll go with them. We'll do them anyway. I don't see their plastic bag anywhere also. And yeah, I am that kind of person that would keep. Also, if you, like me, have a sidekick, my sidekick finds the olive oil to be fascinating. Yeah, there you go. I just touched her on the nose with olive oil and she didn't, she's like, yeah. I think her European roots is what brings her to olive oil. She's like, "What is there? Some pizza going on here? Are we about to make some?" All right. I just gave that guy a little wipe down. It's stainless. It was the one stainless piece in there. Tweezers that I got originally when I got. Right now we'll just go to our third. That is our new grafting knife. We have only taken that out of the plastic sheath and then the paper wrapping to show you. So if we don't touch it, it won't need anything until we touch it. All right, here are our gin pliers. These are our gin pliers. And they are ready. They are ready. I've been out of olive oil for a little while. Probably got almost enough olive oil on my hands now to treat these guys just right. But you can see, as soon as you touch them, they light up like they have machine oil on them or something. But olive oil will not hurt living things. And it shouldn't smell rancid. I also have olive oil is half of an ingredient for one more thing that I'll show you before we're done. It'll be kind of a bonus, a little 30. I've got like maybe a 2-minute bonus, and I've got like a 30-second bonus that deals with these that aren't so much dealing with tools, but they're just shiny, clean, looks good. The action is good. It acts as a really good lubricant, and it cleans and it shines. So yeah, really quick little cleanup here. They weren't nasty. I try not to leave them in dirt. I try not to leave them in water. I haven't let any of the blue. That's the finish on here. They were blued like a rifle. I haven't let any of the bluing get rough or bad on these. So I've been taking pretty good care of them, which is easy to do because I don't have kids. When Dad tried to take care of his tools, I was his curse. I was the reason he couldn't have anything. You're the reason I can't have. Your kids, you know, they love you, but they're not going to put the crap back. They're just not. They want you to be the parent. It's what you do, and getting in trouble for not doing what they're supposed to do is what they do. And, you know, there's just going to be, and tools are going to be what suffers. Yeah. Try to mow the yard, and you find your tools out there in the yard when you hit them with a lawnmower. Ever had that happen? How did they get there? All right. So, I don't know if I can get that. I probably shouldn't go trying to get this to focus super great with oil all over my hands. But, man, I just love these tools. They are made so well, and they just really have a good gloss to them when they are clean, and they're oiled up. And olive oil, all jokes aside, any olive oil will do, and it's really good. Also, what I'm going to get to in a minute, just a couple more tools away, and a few minutes, I'm going to take that stack down before I knock that stack down. We've got something back here that I'm also going to work with after I try to get our stuff back in focus. Here we go. This guy, these scissors, these guys, they could use a little sharpening. Do I have alcohol handy? I do not. A good way to get resin off of your scissors? Two ways. Alcohol is one. The purer the alcohol, the better. And it has to do, and I say that because again, it has to do with what residue you end up with on your scissors when the 70% alcohol or whatever it is dries. That means there's 30% other drying on your scissors. Will that make them rust? Will that make them tarnish? Will that, whatever. So one way to clean all this stuff off that is not just leaping right off there. All that black, that's not from the steel. That is from pine resin or tree resin. So I don't think I've bit the bullet and cut any wires with that. You can cut small wires with these, but I wouldn't do it to my scissors. But another way to get those really good and clean is to sharpen them. I see that in their future. And whereas the olive oil is not going to reduce the resin, it's not going to break that down like alcohol that I had mentioned would. The alcohol's not going to, it will, rubbing alcohol and or some kind of cleaners, glass cleaners I'm missing a baggie. I just had that baggie in my hand a minute ago. I'm going to set this box off to the side until I see that baggie. I'm not going to turn the world upside down on camera for where that little baggie just went, but I just had it in my hand a minute ago. It's a baggie that fits those scissors and then folds up into that size box. Where'd it go? That's the tweezers. I already did those. What was in here? That was my hybrid cutters. We already did those. That was a pretty quick little walkthrough. Also, I had my knife in there, my grafting knife, which didn't need cleaning. Now what's laying up there? Also, let's see, a few other tools. Before we are done, here are one of my favorite pair of channel locks. It's channel locks. You can see that little touch of white. Those are neoprene, really hard plastic locks. These are the jaws on here. On these channel locks are made in such a way they're soft jawed. Like, for instance, if you were doing jewelry or something, you might go with soft jawed. So knowing that I was going to use these to grab a trunk and bend it hard, and that these edges were going to be what would wreck bark, I went with a pair of those, and then I wrapped them in rubber tape, which doesn't have gummy on it. It just kind of sticks. It is gummy. It sticks to itself. Like I say, it sticks to itself like dough. So olive oil on those guys. They are good to go. I've got another set like that, which is I've got another set like that, which is a needle nose. But they also do that adjustable thing like pliers. You see how open that is? And then I can do that and make them tight. And you can see the little hint of white neoprene plastic there. Another little hint poking out there on the end where I've chewed off a little of the rubber, leaning into it with the branch. Pat's from Southeast Texas, and she says branch like she says ranch. So I try never to say ranch, and I cringe every time I say branch. And I don't eat salad, so I don't get that opportunity to say ranch dressing much. Yeah. Enchilada. Life's too short for salad. And then he smacks the camera. All right, that was really quick. Boom. See how shiny those are? I can just throw those right up there and they're done. Here we are with our latest fun tool. This is our bonsai jack. Bonsai Jack, first name, second name. First name Bonsai, second name Jack. All right. So it's black steel. I don't think it's coated. I think if I left this out in the rain, it would get rusty. So we're gonna do a little. Oh, I want a little bit more on this. We're gonna do a little olive oil coating on this guy. We just got it. It's probably been in storage at the store down the road. The guy I got it from goes on the road selling bonsai tools and spreading bonsai joy from all over the country. He's an author of books, teacher of classes. He makes and does demonstrations at most of the bonsai shows in the country. He does weekly demos and stuff throughout the year in other bonsai clubs. And he has his own blog called Bonsai Tonight. And he and another guy who is in the Bay Area named Eric Schrey teamed up to put on the Pacific Bonsai Expo in 2022, and as they will again in 2024. So now, there is my new tool, star of our Ponderosa video, where we did a pretty heavy bend, and that guy, and now it looks brand new, nicely coated, nicely preserved. While my hands are all wet with stuff like that, give a little wipe down to some of the tools that normally don't find themselves getting such special treatment. These little rubber handled pliers especially, these things will dry out on you and start cracking after time. So putting a little any kind of oil to these rubber parts would probably be good. Do not. Here's the Heloise. You older people might know who Heloise was. She was a helpful hint lady in our local newspapers. She died a few years ago, but she had a bunch of really great quotes and had a really great sense of humor. One of her quotes was, "Housework, when done properly, can kill a person." That was Heloise. Yeah. One of my little Heloise tips is, don't ever use Armor All on rubber. Which is also to say, probably don't ever use Armor All on your car. It's what we would call an addictive, which means as long as it's wet and it doesn't stay wet long enough, as long as it's wet, whatever it's on will stay shiny and nice looking. And when it dries, it'll take a layer of whatever you put it on with it. So when it's dry and you wipe on that rubber bumper that's on your plastic bumper of your car, you'll see black stuff on your hand. That was the last coating that was the surface of your rubber. Now, what this pot has is a super thick layer of all the baby oil that I had always used. And I use Johnson's baby oil for my pots. Especially, I used to go with the benefits of almond. I would take almonds, put them in my hand, wrap them up like that, hit them with the hammer until it was pounded into a disgusting paste, and then I would rub pots with that, and that would actually get rid of the calcium stains. People would say, "What you're doing right there will get rid of them." No. When this baby oil dries, if your pot has white calcium stains on it, and you put baby oil or olive oil on, it'll probably come right back once it dries. As long as it's wet looking, you might not see it, but when it dries, it'll be back. I believe, it is my belief, that walnut, walnuts pounded into a paste does make for a good cure to that. Now, since I had this rag really, really wet with both baby oil and olive oil, I decided to give this little pot a wipe down. I love this little pot, and this is not. This is heavy, thick, clunky, and it's on you know, and it's a Chinese pot. This would probably be the kind that if you ordered, you know, 100 pots, you would get a price ridiculously cheap for clay pots or ceramic, you know, unglazed pots. And this is what they would be. When you buy those trees from like bonsai nurseries, and they're like the puppy mill version, as I call it, of bonsai trees. This is probably one of those pots, but you know what? I've always liked it. A little bit of detail. It also doesn't look totally factory made. There's just enough of a F up there that it doesn't really look molded, although that probably means it is. The stamp on the bottom is not a stamp as much as it just says China. Made in China, I think. It's not a chop. Not really. But I like that little pot, and I was just going to show you what I did with mostly baby oil there. Now, the only other thing I would add is if I were to take that and mix olive oil with a counterpart being lemon juice. Olive oil and lemon juice, 50-50. And those two ingredients do not mix at all. So what you would then do is shake it up really, really hard, and then pour those ingredients into your rag, and you would wipe off antique wood, painted wood, unpainted wood, any dried out wood, any wood that's been sitting there being a table at somebody who smoked cigarettes for a million years. What the olive oil does is soaks into the wood and keeps it resonated and keeps it happy and healthy. A lot of times the olive oil might be a little thick to go in there the way you want it. So the lemon juice cuts it, makes it lighter, makes it soak up into the wood more. And then the lemon juice, being the lighter of the two oils, separates because it separates from olive oil after a minute, and then it evaporates, leaving the olive oil deep in the wood that was at one point lighter because of the oil that just vaped off. So I just put a little olive oil on that. It was clean, unused. If it were grimy and nasty, doing that with lemon juice and olive oil would have been the hot ticket, but just a little bit of that. That's olive oil you can see on there. I also used oil of bambino on my unglazed pot. We just made that look pretty good, pretty quick. I could have made it look a little better. There's still a little dirt in there, but your time is precious. So that's it. That's my tools. That will keep my tools from rusting. That will keep my tools from collecting dust the way oil tends to collect dust and stuff sticks to it. And that will keep my tools from leaving any kind of residue on a plant that would in some way be harmful. This is a perfect way to clean and preserve and take care of your tools. And if you take care of your tools, they will take care of you. As shop teacher Mr. Bass once said all the time. I think he would start off with the word like foulage and then go, if you take care of your tools. I can just hear that old guy now. Shop teachers always tended to have weird names. Mr. Bass. Here's to you. So, that's got us. That's our little helpful Heloise tips. You kids will have heard of something you never heard from. That was a culture icon from America's past, Heloise. And a little helpful Heloise hint on how to take care of your unglazed pots, how to take care of wood, how to take care of your black steel tools. Like and subscribe if you guys have not already. Frida and I love what we do, and little olive oil on your dog treat. And we will do another drop in the next day or so. And then we will do some more midweek. And thank you so much for watching.